Onyx Boox releases a lot of e-readers. A month ago, they released Poke devices for the domestic market in China. However, the international division, Onyx Boox International, released the Poke 4 Lite to the worldwide scene. They're going back to basics here and is the most basic e-reader they've produced in a long time. But don't be fooled by its 6-inch stature, sunken screen and lack of onboard audio. The Poke 4 Lite is definitely a powerhouse, boasting Android 11, Google Play, and speed modes to watch videos. In fact, they're sticking with their slogan, like a tablet, unlike any tablet. Yes, they're going with a sunken screen design. Do not be afraid, do not be worried, do not be alarmed. This doesn't mean that this is the exposed e-ink screen. That's not how e-paper products work. There are tons of layers between the actual e-paper screen and the viewable surface. In fact, this top has a top coat on it. You don't have to worry about it. Click the video card up above if you want to look at our teardown of an ebook reader. They definitely have gone back to basics, stating themselves on their own website that this is more of a return to a natural form of ebook reading, despite the fact that this is boasting a lot of different bells and whistles on board. This is anything but basic, but the price point is actually very cheap. It's only $149, which is quite amazing. Now they're kind of doing what Barnes & Noble did with the 4 and the 4E in that they've gone from a 300 ppi screen to a 212 ppi screen. So that is very evident of these more economical entries into the lineups of all these respective companies. The UI is laid out much the same as other devices of this size, like the Onyx Boox Poke 3 and the Leaf, where you get everything on the bottom. Library store, storage, apps, and settings. Settings is where you're going to have all your settings, your system display, all your power, language inputs, server, firmware update, and more. Apps is where you're going to find all of your apps, of course. Now, something to mention, unlike its other releases of recent, like the Air 2 Plus and the Nova Air C, this does not come with out-of-the-box Google Play. In fact, you do have to activate it by going to App Management all the way down here to enable Google Play, and then you click on GSFID to bind this unit to the Google account of your choosing. So unfortunately, it does require that GSFID, which is Google Services Framework, ID workaround in order to utilize Google Play, and then you have to wait anywhere between 24 to 48 hours for it to kick in, but once it does, you can use Google Play to the full extent. And because we're running the latest version of Android on ePaper, there really is nothing holding this back. Conjoining that with the fact that you have different modes, including A2, Speed, and even X mode, there really is nothing you can't do on here. There will be no shortcomings outside of maybe the latest Asphalt game, which you're really not going to do anyways because this doesn't have onboard audio. Dropping the top down is where you're going to find all of your glow light settings. We'll show you that in a little bit. Your audio for when you connect either Wi-Fi or Bluetooth audio to it. And most importantly, out of all of this, your e-ink center. This is where you're going to control the dark color enhancements, the contrast, and the light color filter, the saturation, and all of your modes. These are the most important things. You're going to live and die by these modes. You have regular mode, you have A2, you have speed, and you have X mode. We're going to show you that when we get into a video. Because this is running Android, you can install any app you want, and we'll show you the Kindle app right after this, but this is the Neo Reader, and to be completely honest, it has gotten a lot better over the years. It's faster, it's more crisp, and it's way more advanced when it comes to page turns and when it comes to overall refresh. If you tap the center, you get a lot of different options. You can go to format, in which case you have font size, embolden, font, you have others, original layout, different reflows, spacing style. There is a ton of customization here under the Neo Reader as a base form, so you don't really need to go anywhere else, but if you wanted to, you could utilize things side-loaded like the Amazon Kindle app by simply going here and clicking on things you've either side-loaded in or downloaded from Google Play. While we're on the Amazon Kindle app, let's look at a manga because this is a very nice pocket-friendly device. Now, it's not as small as the things we've been seeing recently, like the Y-Band, the new Hisense stuff, and of course the Ink Palm by Xiaomi. But this is still pocket-friendly to a certain degree, it being a 6-inch device, and this was the standard for ebook readers for quite some time. This is a very good experience on the Amazon Kindle app. You're going to have all that page turn animations, and it is going to handle it quite well. There's going to be no shortcomings on this unit because, again, they're not really boasting it as an ebook reader. Although it is basic, this is still a tablet for all intents and purposes. If this had an LCD LED screen, you would say that there's no difference between this and any other manufacturer making tablets, but the fact that there's this smooth, this responsive, using an e-paper screen is that much more impressive. Manga, thumbs up. PDFs, thumbs down. Can it do PDFs? Absolutely. Do they look good? Yes. Are they responsive? Sure, but the screen is too small. PDFs are already hard enough to read on 7 inches, 7.8s, and even some 10.3s. PDFs only start making sense for the most part on very large devices that run A4 paper. 10.3s can be forgiven, but even then, small text like this, especially if it's for your bread and butter, like your education or your job, if you're in the medical industry, you want something that you don't have to constantly pinch and zoom to read. To their credit, they do give you a mini-map. You do always kind of know where you are on the page. That's fantastic. And everything you do is very quick. But again, it comes back to just the lack of screen real estate. That's not what this is for. It can do it. You can download Adobe, you can download PDF readers from Google Play, but it's not advised that you buy this for the sole purposes and intention of reading PDFs on it. Unlike some devices that go for a more economical approach that actually remove the warm lighting, this actually has both. So you can make this extreme candlelight, you can make it very blue if you'd like, or you can get a healthy mix of both. You can do browns, you can do stone whites. It's really up to you how you'd like it. You can do this very dim. This is probably the best on your eyes. Little bit of the warm light on, blue light almost all the way off, a good mix, and very light. Very, no pun intended, but very not so illuminated, we'll say. This is probably the best for your eyes. It doesn't illuminate all that much in terms of projecting outwards. It is a very healthy glow. This thing is fantastic. E-readers no longer really use a light that shines on the screen or behind the screen. They use a gel layer that has LEDs connected into it, either on the top, bottom, left, or right, that therefore illuminates that gel layer and it shows you the light on the screen. It appears that outside of the big 3 manufacturers, no one really makes ebook readers anymore. Instead, everyone opts for more of a multimedia tablet experience. The price point of this unit is also very tantalizing at only $149, making it one of the best bang for your buck devices you could possibly hope for. For GoodyReader.com, this is Peter.